Hello guys, I'm pretty sure you guys already know who this is, considering that I've already done this intro so many times. But if you guys don't know and you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Sage Samurai. So if you guys don't know, this is gonna be another part 2. What if Naruto had left the village instead of Sasuke? Another part to it, as I have actually been here just sitting here like thinking what I'm supposed to do for this part. And to be honest with you, still not 100%. Like I have like an idea of what I want to do, but I'm trying to make sure how I put it into words. Who knows? I'll probably do it after I'm done with this intro. But yeah, another thing, guys, is if you guys are like a fan of the second channel, which was Great Sage, then just letting you guys know, like I do Pokemon what ifs on there. I do multiple other what ifs on there. You know, I do like all types of them, mostly for fun. So yeah, if you guys are like into Pokemon what ifs and stuff like that, you guys can check it out. And I'm just letting you guys, like, you know, giving an announcement to that one. So yeah. Another thing is, well, if you guys don't know, tomorrow I'll be taking a break, considering the fact that, you know, people needs break. Okay, I need a break as well. And pretty much, yeah, tomorrow's just gonna be me having fun and relaxing. All right. So that's why I'm posting today. But anyway, I hope you all do enjoy this video, and enough of me talking about all this. Let's go ahead and get started. Yeah.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started with this what if. Now that I know you guys have been waiting for it, but yeah, let's get started. So we now start off where we left off, where we see our protagonist who is currently now escaping. After causing immense damage to that area that he goes ahead and smirks, as he obviously knows that those hidden the hidden leaf shinobi, they were so idiotic, blindly rushing in there, demanding him things, please, as if they couldn't even try to touch him. As Naruto would have gone ahead and landed on a branch, as he knew he made pretty fair distance away, he'll go ahead and actually, you know, of course, lift up his wrist, as he will then go ahead and slap a seal on. At this, he will add a little bit of chakra, as suddenly this when a voice will then ring in. Hello? Lord Uzumaki, are you there? Hearing this, of course, Naruto will go ahead and sighs and says, yeah, I'm here. Is everything good over there? At this, the man would nod at Naruto's request, causing Naruto to sigh in relief, as he asked if both Deidara and Sasuke had arrived at the location. At this, the man would nod, as he says that they're already in guard and are protecting the town right now. At this, Naruto would smile, as he then goes ahead and tells the man to motion to everyone that he's finally returning home, to which the man would go ahead and nod his head, as he goes ahead and follows through with his leader's orders. At this, Naruto can't help but smile. Today, he was finally going home. He should check up on the place right now. At this, we will see Naruto then go ahead and instantly begin to generate a large amount of chakra. Well, most people it will be large. Like I would say about like the amount of chakra of at least 2 Chunins. As Naruto will go ahead and charge up, he will then suddenly vanish. And so suddenly he then appears once again in a glowing red light, as he was now in the center of town. At this, everyone in the town would stop doing what the heck they were doing, as they would stop and look at Naruto. And so suddenly he would then raise both of his hands in the air, as he then shouts that, I have arrived. At this, everyone in town would then cheer, as they were finally seeing their leader returned. Yup, if you guys don't know by now, this town was not just ordinary town. After all, this was going to be the revival of Uzugakure. Yup, this was Naruto's home now. You see, as we go ahead and like, you know, tell you about all of this. You see, during the time that Naruto was in the Akatsuki training, secretly doing all his stuff, during his time, you know, traveling, stealing money and stuff like that, he had also been going ahead and funding and nurturing Uzugakure. The young Uzumaki had found it not long in the business of being an Akatsuki member, as he was easily able to find the place, which was in ruins. Of course, seeing his homeland in ruins, the Uzumaki can't help but be sad about all of it. But luckily, then again, just like any Uzumaki, he was stubborn, and he was not going to let his home die. Not this, not like this. At this, Naruto would go ahead and slowly but surely begin to add people to the village. Such people as people who have been kidnapped from their homes, or like people who had their homes destroyed. Which during the time, like I said, even people would be saying like, oh, the hidden leaf or the villages are in peace, but really it would still be a war out there. People are still losing their lives and homes. So of course Naruto will go ahead, he will protect them, he will bring them to Uzugakure. As the town, although still small, it was surely but slowly growing. As we go ahead and return back to Naruto, he will go ahead and see people, as he will see a couple of the stands that were there. You will see children running around the street happy and everything. People were smiling at each other. There was no hatred, no nothing. This was the life that Naruto was working for, and he was gonna still work hard for it. At this, Naruto would then see people he would still see people still working on construction, as he will go ahead and motion for them to take a break, to which they will follow his command. As we go ahead and continue on, we will see Naruto now currently making his way through town, until finally he then sees the foot soldiers. Now, people were not going to have to be forced into the life of battle, as right now he was currently making them out of people he had gone ahead and pretty much gave their souls to the Reaper, and pretty much making sure that they went ahead and followed his orders. As right now he will go ahead and see one of the people that were there. I'm gonna go ahead and just call this guy like a random character or anything. Yeah, he's just a random character. As he goes ahead and actually looks at Naruto, he will then bow his head as he then speaks. Sir, they're now fully prepared. At this, hearing these words, Naruto will nod his head at him, as he will then go ahead and walk over to the soulless bodies of Deidara and Sasori. At this, he will look into their eyes as he sees that both of them were now ready for combat, and were pretty much doing what they do, ready to follow orders of Naruto, of course. So seeing this, Naruto will go ahead and crack a grin as he tells them the only order was to protect this homeland. As seeing this, they can only do nothing more than nod their heads, following their leader's orders, as they go ahead and actually jump about, staying hidden inside the city, but also protecting it at the same time. Seeing the people go, Naruto can't help but smile. However, he'll go ahead and actually begin to ask people about the construction of the seals. Now you see, during the time of inside Izugakure, when Naruto was doing this secretly, of course, he was able to go ahead and actually create seals, as well as he was able to find Uzumakis that, although some of them were still old, some of them were still young, he still was able to find and save them, as there was actually a faction of Uzumakis who would still work on making seals and protecting their homeland. As some people actually call Naruto the light that brought Uzugakure to life. Yeah, I know. I need to work on a better name than that. Tell me right now what you think Naruto's title should be in the Uzugakure. And I don't want some people saying, oh, Hokage or Kazekage. I don't want to hear none of that, okay? I understand the Hokage and everything part, but come on now. Give him a title or anything. I don't know. You guys decide, really. As of course, due to this, they have made they made this new advanced Fuinjutsu seal. As due to the fact that Naruto has been collecting information from other villages that he just ransacked, as well as, stealing stuff and everything, this made the Uzumaki Fuinjutsu develop even further, becoming more advanced. As that seal that allowed him to communicate with people from a distance, sort of like a phone, those were one of the advanced seals. At this, one of the Uzumakis wouldn't speak. Lord Uzumaki. At this, Naruto just sighs, he then looks at him, telling them to cut that out, as he don't know who gave him the title, but some people began calling him Lord Uzumaki, even though he has told them more than once to call him just Naruto. There was no one higher than others. This was a civilization that worked together to grow. At this, the man would just shrug his shoulders as he then speaks that they have currently created their advanced barrier seal. At this, Naruto would nod his head as he begins to walk out of the Uzugakure, as he goes ahead and nod his head. Alright, let's try it. At this, all the civilians who were currently still living in the area would go ahead and back away, as they were actually wanting to see this sign, as this was going to help their city. Come on now. As all the Uzumakis that were working there will slap the seal on, Naruto would see this bluish aura appear. Now, if you guys want an example of this, I don't know if people watch. I don't know how many of y'all watch Gravity Falls or not. Pretty much, if you guys remember during the last few episodes of Gravity Falls, when there was like this weird rainbow thing that went ahead and protected the Mystery Shack from the weird stuff. Yeah, it's something similar to that. And if you guys don't know, and if you guys want me to describe it, pretty much, it's like this blue sphere, similar to a Rasengan, pretty much, but at the same time, not really, as it's truly a ginormous chakra dome that protects the town. At this, Naruto seeing this, he'll go ahead and instantly form one of his most dangerous techniques, that being the Rasengan. Alright, let's test it out, he would say. At this, the civilians as well as the Uzumakis will go ahead and watch this with a calm expression, as Naruto would dash off at the barrier, slamming the Rasengan into it. As to Naruto's surprise, the Rasengan, it doesn't even land, it doesn't do anything. In fact, it gets absorbed into it. What? At this, Naruto would then look at the Uzumakis, who all had a pleased smile on their face as they didn't smile. That's one of the properties of this barrier. With this, not only will it protect the sound from any ninjutsu attacks, but it will also go ahead and absorb the chakra from said ninjutsu and increase its own power. So pretty much the barrier not only defends it from, ninjutsu, but also can block out stuff like genjutsu or nenjutsu and actually absorb the chakra, increasing the barrier's strength. So yeah, that thing is going to be pretty hard. At this, hearing this, Naruto would actually smile as he then says, "This is perfect. Wow, you guys truly are amazing." Hearing the compliments from their people that they already proclaim as their leader, they all begin to, be happy, as one of the villagers would then go ahead and shout, saying that they should have a festival, a celebration, to which everyone would nod at this. This was the moment. I mean, come on. This was the life. A life of peace, people working together. What could possibly go wrong? Now we're going to go somewhere where things go terribly wrong. And I'm talking about the Hidden Leaf Village. At this, we would see currently right now that after saving, so-called saving Gaara, the Hidden Leaf Shinobi returned back to their homes, as Gaara was literally just dropped off there at Suna. Like, literally, he didn't even have a scratch on him. As when people actually asked their Kazekage about what happened, Gaara was going ahead and silence him, saying that right now he would just like a bit of rest, considering the fact that he was exhausted. As the most explanation that he gave them was that, he fought them off. As we now see Tsunade, who's currently right now having, of course, her typical day of sake, as she's right now just trying to drink herself to the point where she can just forget about all this. The job of Hokage used to mean something to her, but now it truly was something that, what was the point of it? Naruto was not going to take up the mantle. And speaking of Naruto, she still hasn't seen him. This was truly, Tsunade was falling into depths of despair at this point. As she would see the Hidden Leaf Shinobi arrive, they would all give their mission report, saying about what happened and about the mystery fellow. Hearing this, Tsunade can already understand who they were talking about, as in the bingo book, people had already described this other mystery member of the Akatsuki. Although he's not as famous as the others, he still is quite famous, as people call him the Slippery Fox. Others know him as the Masked Vigilante. Many people, he goes by many names, but all they know is that he is very powerful and equally, if not as strong as almost every member of the Akatsuki. As everyone already knew about this guy, Tsunade can't help but wonder, could it possibly? No, it can't be. At this, she wonders if just maybe that was Naruto, but still, there was no way to prove it. The only thing they could tell was that one, he had a hoodie on most of the time, and no one really saw his face. At this, Tsunade can only go ahead and just nod at the report, telling them they can go off, of course, to which they would do so. As season 7 leaves, truly they had nothing else to do. They didn't even hang out like a team anymore, as the only thing they do is just train, sleep, and pretty much do all they can. As truly the son that was Naruto was no longer there for them, they truly did not bond as a team anymore. Now we go ahead and turn our attention back to Suna as we see Gaara, as he was currently having a pleased smile on his face. He had finally returned home. His village was still safe, However, the threat of the Akatsuki still was a rise. He also came into contact with his dear old friend Naruto. As Gaara was contemplating this would actually remind him of the seal that Naruto gave him, causing Gaara to pull it out. Whoa. As he goes ahead and actually looks at the seal. So all I have to do is apply chakra to this. At this seeing the seal, he'll go ahead and apply some of the chakra. As it is when suddenly he will then go ahead and speak. Naruto, are you there? At this, no response was heard. Until suddenly the response from Naruto would then come, as he will go ahead and speak to Gaara as well, as he was happy to hear from him. Gaara, how have you been? I see the device is working perfectly. At this, hearing his friend's voice, Gaara is amazed by the advanced technology, as he just chuckles. As he goes ahead and begins to talk to Naruto, as he begins to say that he's been thinking about the alliance that Naruto was talking about. At this, Naruto would be there on the other line, waiting in bated breath of what Gaara was going to choose. Please, Gaara, please, just come on, join. Naruto was thinking in his mind. After all, he really did not want to fight his best friend. Which, I mean, not his best friend, but one of his friends. At this, Gaara was silent until finally he goes ahead and smiles. I guess your hidden village now has an alliance. Hearing these words, there was a silent pause. Until suddenly Naruto would then go ahead and actually smile. Yes! He whispered inside his mind. As he would then go ahead and talk to Gaara a couple more seconds. As he would tell Gaara that he will go ahead and transfer the terminal agreements over there. So that way they can work together. At this, Gaara will go ahead and nod until he actually stops for a minute. What's the name of this hidden village? At this, hearing this, Naruto will then crack a smile. The hidden village is also known as Uzugakure. At this, hearing these words, Gaara goes ahead and stays silent until he smiles. Fitting, huh? At this, Naruto will just chuckle as he will go ahead and of course hang up on Gaara on his seal phone or whatever. Shoot, I don't even know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it his seal phone, I guess. Whatever. So with that, we move on to when Naruto is now currently just now after getting off the call with Gaara. He was now currently going ahead and moving towards. He realized that he now had to return back to the Akatsuki due to the fact that they will end up getting suspicious. As Naruto has kept this place hidden for a long time, it was still not 100% safe. So at this, Naruto would bid farewell to his home, as well as he would tell them to activate their camouflage seal, which yes, Naruto's village literally has a camouflage seal that's around the entire place. So yeah. As after that, Naruto would dash off to the Akatsuki base, as when he arrives over there, he would instantly see the members of the Akatsuki. Ah, hello, Naruto would say in a cold and uncaring voice, which gives the Akatsuki members mad Itachi vibes. At this, seeing them, Naruto will go ahead and just calmly walk in there, ignoring all of them as he goes ahead and sits idly by. Now at this point, this is when one of them would then speak up. So, where's Sasuke and Deidara? At this, Naruto would then speak. They are dead. Hearing these words coming from Naruto, the members of the Akatsuki would look at him, as Naruto would again to speak. The Hidden Leaf Shinobi. I wasn't there to save them in time, as I was currently dealing with the Kazekage. At this, hearing these words, all of them would look at Naruto confused, as they'll go ahead and begin to speak. Excuse me, but the Kazekage had his tail beast removed. At this, Naruto will go ahead and look at them. At this, he will go ahead and speak. I thought the same thing too. But sadly, it didn't work out. I don't know how, but it seems as if a small resonant amount of the tail beast chakra still resonates within him. You may have able to extract the whole thing, but some of his chakra still lives in, making him still able to live. Hearing the explanation, they all look at Naruto confused once again, until they begin to ask Naruto how's the Kazekage, who just recently got a tail beast extracted out of him, able to last against Naruto for so long, because Naruto's not a pushover. And although yes, it's a Kazekage, it was near death. This tail beast was extracted from him. Come on now. At this, Naruto would just shrug. Who knows? Then again, this is the world that we live in. unusual occurrences, like how a Kazekage who's weakened is still able to keep up. At this is when one of the members would then scoff, as he probably said that Naruto probably hold back, as Naruto honestly was way too soft sometimes. At this, Naruto shrugged his shoulders, not really caring about the member's appearance, about his appearance, as he goes ahead and sighs. As this is when all the other members would just go ahead and calm down, until suddenly they'll then get a order from their leader. Alright, so now we have the One Tails extracted. That means we now can continue on with our plan. At this, you'll go ahead and put on a vicious smile, as this is when he would then turn to Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto would look at the members of the Akatsuki, as he realized something was up. At first, Naruto didn't notice it, but as soon as he walked in, Pain was, well, first of all, the members of the Akatsuki, they were all here, which usually doesn't happen unless something big is happening. Number 2 was the fact that it seems as if they were in a formation. Once again, Naruto didn't really pay attention to this, considering the fact that he was too busy already coming up with an excuse for why Deidara and Sasori are no longer there. And finally, the leader had arrived. At this, seeing this, Naruto could already tell what's going on. This was a setup. Bastard, Naruto thought, until he then cracks an insane grin. I knew this day would happen, Naruto would say. At this, the members of the Akatsuki begin to surround Naruto, as this is when Pain speaks. Nine Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto Uzumaki. You have served your purpose long enough, but sadly, your time has come. Hearing these words, Naruto said nothing until he cracks an insane grin. Oh my god, that was funny. The fact that you even think that you can take me on? What a fucking joke, thought Naruto as he looks at them with an insane glint in his eyes. At this, the members of the Akatsuki go ahead and frown, as this is when Hidan then speaks. Oi brat, what the hell are you talking about? At this, Naruto then look at him. Are you a fucking idiot? Who was the people who taught me all their techniques? Who was the people who trained me to become as strong as I was? At this, the members of the Akatsuki would then scoff, as one of them would then speak up, that being Kisame. Brat, do you honestly believe that you're so strong? We easily could have held out on you. In fact, no, some of us even did, like me. Hearing these words from Kisame, Naruto didn't even bat him an eye. After all, there was no point in talking to an already dead man. Oh, whatever. At this, Naruto would then go ahead, and suddenly, Naruto would then go ahead and tap two of his seals together that were on his wrist, that were hidden, as he'll then go ahead and summon two black katanas. I knew something like this would happen eventually. So now then, at this, Naruto then cracks a grin even more. So then, shall we begin? At this, no one said anything. No one moved. Until suddenly, Pain would then burst into action, instantly trying to use Basho Tenin to bring Naruto in, until Naruto would then go ahead and disappear using a substitution jutsu. At this, Naruto would then appear behind Pain as he goes ahead and throws a kick. Remember, you got 10 seconds. At this, Pain said nothing until suddenly he would then go ahead and say, Shinra Tensei. As Naruto would go ahead and actually be blown back. Dang it, Naruto would say as he easily backflipped over the air, regained his balance, as this is when Hidan would then appear from behind. Huh, cocky little shit. Don't act so tough. At this, he goes ahead and swings his weapon at Naruto, to which Naruto would easily block with his katanas, blocking away his scythe. Please, let's see how immortal you really are. At this, Naruto would easily go ahead and kick Hidan in the stomach, as he goes ahead and easily makes Hidan drop the scythe, as Naruto would then go ahead and kick the scythe up in the air, making it stuck to the wall. At this, Hidan would actually be surprised at this maneuver, as Naruto would then go ahead and actually spin in the air while still doing a backflip, as he goes ahead and throws the katana at Kisame, who easily dodges. Huh, cocky little shit, aren't you? At this, Naruto would then sigh. Really? You should really pay more attention. At this is when suddenly Kisame would then hear a poof, as he would then look only to go ahead and gain a cut on his cheek. What the? At this, peering right behind Kisame was none other than a shadow clone of Naruto, as that was a version of the flying Raijin that Naruto had developed. As this technique not only allowed Naruto for himself to travel, but also for his clones. So that means even a clone of Naruto can use that seal. But how did you? At this, Naruto then smirks. So much for being my so-called sensei, huh? At this, Kisame would then go ahead and then be kicked in the face, getting sent flying as he begins to spin all around. Seeing Kisame sent flying, Itachi will move on to Naruto, slamming a kunai directly into Naruto's face while midair. At this, seeing the young Uzumaki dead, Pain would go ahead and look at it as he feels finally that he accomplished it, only to go ahead and look on in shock to see that Naruto was completely fine. Fucking idiot, Naruto would say. He would poof away, surprising them as a clone is not able to go ahead and just take damage like that like it was nothing. Only to see Naruto appear behind Itachi with the very same kunai that Itachi had pierced Naruto with, as Naruto would go ahead and do the same to Itachi. By the way guys, sorry if you guys see me saying going ahead so many times. I don't know why. Literally, I don't know why, but I get the urge to say it each time. Maybe it's just for me to continue on the story. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm trying my best not to say it all the time. As Itachi is stabbed, he would fall into the ground, completely lifeless, shocking the members as they did not expect Itachi to go down that easily. Which he didn't. Itachi would go ahead and morph into some crows, which made Naruto sigh. I knew it. As just like that, Itachi would go and appear right next to Naruto as well. Foolish. Did you truly thought you could escape my illusions? At this, Naruto would go ahead and look at him. Yeah. At this, Naruto would then disappear, once again surprising the members, but this time instead of just disappearing, leaving nothing there, he would have actually substituted with Hidan. What the? At this, Hidan would actually look at Itachi, with Itachi looking at Hidan in shock, as this is when Naruto would go on and finally once again appear between the two of them, as he would jab both of them in the head, causing them to stagger up a little bit, as this is when he would then continue on with his punches and flares of kicks with Hidan, of course, while also making a clone to take on Itachi. Right now, Naruto's main point wasn't to take down the Akatsuki, no, because right now, he still had use for them. Having been tired by the display, Pain decided that now was time for him to move on, as he would go and just appear on top of all of them until he then says the word, enough, as he would then shoot off a Shinra Tensei. At this, seeing the attack incoming, the members of the Akatsuki would then dash off, as Naruto would then be going ahead and again, sorry I said it, would then go and actually take the full blunt of the hit. As everyone saw this, they would go ahead and smile, as they thought, not everyone, because the Akatsuki don't smile. After all, they're the emo squad. But seeing that Naruto got hit, this will cause a pleasurable feeling to go through all of them. Well, except for some members, as Naruto had finally now been defeated. As the smoke would begin to clear, all of them were expecting to find their newly unconscious Jinchuriki there, ready to be extracted, but nope. In fact, they saw something odd. Although yes, they saw just what they intended, a lifeless Naruto on the ground, they didn't feel anything. They didn't hear him breathing. This causes Pain to just look, as he then thinks, oh no. As if they had destroyed Naruto, like if they had killed him way too early, this could cause the beast sealed inside him to also die out with him, causing Naruto to go ahead and, no, not even causing Naruto, causing them to wait more years for the Nine Tails to come back. So at this, all the Akatsuki members would jump down as they go ahead and go close to Naruto's body. As this is when Naruto, as soon as they flipped it around, they would then gasp. Right there on it, there was a small little note on top of this weird Naruto clone body, whatever it was. forehead. And the word said, ... I fucking win. At this is when suddenly Pain, as well as all the members of the Akatsuki, would then feel a ginormous amount of chakra pulling in. Quick, escape! At this, all of them were about to dash off, but sadly it was too late. Learning from Deidara, this is where Naruto would go ahead and incorporate a new Fuinjutsu bomb. As Pain was looking at this, he would just think, oh, he had me at checkmate from the beginning, he thought. As this when suddenly the bomb would then go off. As every moment the Akatsuki in that moment would then be caught in it. As they all try using very defensive maneuvers to try to protect themselves from the attack. Hidan didn't really do anything because, you know, he's immortal. Let's see. Itachi, he would actually go ahead and be forced to use the Susanoo, the ribcage, of course, to block the attack. But still, even that was able to destroy some of the Susanoo and also cause some immense damage to Itachi. Kisame would use his, you know, his sword, Samehada, to go ahead and try eating up at the chakra. But sadly, that didn't work either. And finally was Pain, who went ahead and finally used his, you know, his Shinra Tensei at the moment. But sadly, that did little to stop the blast. In fact, it pushed off against the Shinra Tensei and causing this to just pretty much go through an entire clash. Either way, all I'm trying to say is that every member of the Akatsuki got badly injured in that whole explosion. As the explosion would finally end, everyone would go ahead and, you know, we would see the final members of the Akatsuki that were there. As Pain would look around, he would go ahead, I mean, sorry again if I said it, but this time it's, you know, I'm just trying to say for this part. Pain would go and he would actually see something that shakes him to his core. There, the lifeless body of Conan. That, and also accompanied with the other members of the Akatsuki who also had fatal injuries. One of them being Kisame, who had lost his arm. Itachi, who looked like he had got extreme amounts of burns. Hidan was literally, he got severe amount of damage. Luckily, he's immortal, so he's alive. But right now, like, bro, he is, his body is fucked. Okay, like literally, people like he's literally unrecognizable at the moment. As Pain would see Conan's body, he would begin to feel rage. As you know, since Pain is connected to Nagato can also see this. As seeing Conan's body, he would begin to remember the feeling of how his other comrade died. As he goes ahead and then lets out a ginormous and anguished scream from where he was. As Nagato was only thinking one thing: getting revenge and ending the life of a certain Naruto Uzumaki. Speaking of said Uzumaki, we will see our favorite blonde not that far away from the explosion with a maniacal smile on his face. Fucking idiots falling for that shit. Naruto. Flashback. At that very moment when Pain activated the Shinra Tensei, Naruto knew that the force and speed of the attack, it will probably knock him out unconscious, causing him to be unable to escape. So at this, Naruto would call upon his tenet, or better yet, Kurama. Kurama, can you help me out? Naruto would say. At this, Kurama would go ahead and nod, as he was not going to let his partner just be killed off like this. Hell no. At this, Naruto would go ahead and actually, of course, activate his Kyuubi cloak. As this was just going to be KCM, just the first version of the KCM. As like there was no KCM Sage mode or anything, so relax. Now this KCM was going to be different, as instead of being orange, instead of being like the yellowish orange color, it would be a dark red. As it envelops Naruto, he would go ahead and instantly speed blitz out of the explosion right before he even got a chance. But right before he did, though, he did go ahead and summon an advanced clone. Now, it was an advanced version of the Shadow Clone Jutsu. The only difference between this one and, the regular Shadow Clone is that this one, it's literally more durable. Okay, it takes more than just one hit to poof it away. 2 is the fact that you need actual killing hits to disperse it. So just imagine So imagine fighting another version of Naruto. Like literally, this thing can mistake for the actual real Naruto just by getting stabbed through the heart or anything, only to realize that it was a clone. But if you punch it or you kick it, nothing's gonna happen. It's not gonna poof. And when that clone was about to appear, Naruto also applied a Fuinjutsu art, which was known as Fuinjutsu style, Uzumaki Fuinjutsu style, Hollow's Revenge. As this pretty much was a technique that uses pretty much all the power of the clone that was stacked up in there, which, like I said, since this is an advanced Shadow Clone Jutsu, it does take a pretty large amount of chakra. But the payoff is so worth it, due to the fact that Hollow's Revenge thing, pretty much as soon as the clone was destroyed, literally as soon as the clone was took the damage and everything, this thing pretty much set it off as a ticking time bomb, as it doubles the ferocity of the chakra that it was inside the clone, and pretty much uses it as a big bomb, causing a ginormous explosion. As we go ahead and cut back the explanation, Naruto, seeing the destruction that he had caused, can do nothing more than smile. However, he would still go ahead and be on the lookout. Now that he knew that the Akatsuki had so-called betrayed him, things looked like the plan needed to change. At this, as soon as Naruto calls up his village, he would go ahead and order the person who answered to insinuate a Jinchuriki conference. Hearing these words, the man would gasp until he nods his head, as he would go and actually activate it. Now you see, under certain circumstances, when certain conditions are met, Naruto would host a Jinchuriki meeting. Now what this is technically is pretty much, think of it as a group chat, but with Jinchurikis. Speaking of said Jinchurikis, every single one of the Jinchurikis that the Akatsuki hunted down, they're not dead. No, they're still alive. Now, if you want me to explain all that, I'm gonna have to explain it in the next part, due to the fact that I don't think I'm gonna be able to explain pretty much all of it in in 5 more minutes, because I'm not gonna be going ahead and posting a 1-hour video now. Okay, but pretty much the whole rundown of the situation is Naruto, whenever the Akatsuki had gotten their hands on a Jinchuriki, he had went ahead and saved them before death. He also went ahead and made an alliance with said Jinchuriki. He did not make the alliance with the village, only with the Jinchuriki. But he did make an alliance with the village. Something like, for example, for the Jinchurikis, there are like Kazekages and stuff like that, who are Kages. He did make an alliance with them. Speaking of which, by the way, since currently right now the only one who's truly a Kage right now would have to be Gaara, since the whole Mizukage thing. Yeah, the story about him is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna change things around pretty much. You guys will know, you guys are gonna find out pretty much what's happening. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. Okay, in the next part I'll explain the whole thing. So at this, we now go ahead and hear the voices of different individuals that we have not heard from yet. Naruto, is that you? A female voice would say, as she was actually very confused at who called them up at this time. No, duh, of course I called you, fool. Hearing this, said one would just go ahead and chuckle as she rubs the back of her head sheepishly. Sorry. At this, Naruto would just sigh. Alright, is there anyone else out there? At this one suddenly will then hear a male's voice as he then says, yeah. Hey, what the heck are you calling me at this time for? You already know that I'm undercover right now. At this, Naruto would sigh and says, yeah, I'm sorry, but right now we got no time for it. At this, that voice was that of the Mizukage, or should I say previous Mizukage. The one who went ahead and started the whole bloodline thing and was a tyrant and everything. At this, he was currently right now undercover. He was currently just not really that far away, of course, but he was still undercover due to the fact that most had thought of him as dead, as that was still not the case. At this, Naruto was going ahead and still waiting, but sadly none of the other members were picking up, which meant that 1, they were still on the run, or 2, they were hiding away and did not want to be spotted. Dang it. I'm gonna have to call them up later. At this, Naruto would then go ahead and speak. Either way, listen. You guys need to start being more careful out there now. At this, hearing these words, the only members of the group chat that was still on will go ahead and became serious. What do you mean? At this, Naruto wouldn't say, the Akatsuki, they betrayed me now. At this, they go ahead and already nod as they now knew the situation. Pretty much, even though Naruto was not really an Akatsuki member, even though he was going to betray them and everything, that still meant that now he didn't know what the heck the Akatsuki were going to do. As this is where Naruto would then explain to his previous Jinchuriki friends that apparently they went ahead and now are super pissed off due to the fact that he had destroyed their pretty much base of operations. Also, he sort of kind of technically went ahead and destroyed and killed one of the members. Hearing this, of course, both Fu and the Mizukage previous Mizukage were surprised, but they would nod their head. As they all asked Naruto, should they return back to their village, to which Naruto would nod, saying that they should meet up at Izugakure soon. At this, both of them would nod as Naruto would go ahead and hang up the line. He's hoping that he could come into contact with his other Jinchuriki soon. I also better contact Gaara. Now, if you guys are wondering, why is Naruto calling the other Jinchuriki? Well, even though they do not have their tail beast anymore, they should still return back to the village to go on the lookout. Also, since the Akatsuki are since they're now fully making their move, and now that Naruto has killed one of their members, who knows what's gonna happen now? Now things need to be on high alert. Besides, now that they knew that Naruto was already planning to betray them and everything, yeah, things are about to go ahead and turn up real quick. But what do y'all think is going to happen next? What sort of chaos has Naruto now ensued? Will the Akatsuki get the revenge on our blonde protagonist? Who are the other Jinchurikis that Naruto has saved? What happened to them? How did Naruto even meet them? Well, we're going to have to find out next time. Anyway, I hope y'all do enjoy. We'll be taking a break tomorrow because, tired and everything. I'm also going to be trying to get better at making my what ifs tomorrow because, I don't want to go ahead and continue saying, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, like I said, still getting a little bit rusty, but hey, I'm trying to get better. But anyway, I hope y'all do enjoy this what if. Type down in the comments anything you guys might want to happen. I might do it. And either way, yeah, it's Sage Samurai, and I'm out. Peace.